Everyone knows and loves MrBeast. He's an insanely wealthy YouTuber, and he gives tons of his money away to random people. The guy even has an entire channel just on philanthropy alone. He's basically as close to perfect as a human gets, but he's not. And of course, he's made a couple mistakes that people have pointed out, for good reason or not. So today, I thought it would be fun to go over every single reason why people hate MrBeast. Alright, so for our first post, we have Dennis saying, "I'd seen enough of this liar's videos, social media posts, and talk show episodes to understand the bigger picture behind his money. He is fake American. He does not give away money to real people. He lies in every single video, and it's all a personal gain for him. Fraud, scandal." So basically this says MrBeast is faking his videos for some reason, because he's a fake American, I guess. And it doesn't really give any proof why he's faking these videos, but he has been accused of using fake money before, and he even admitted to it in this clip.
And just long story short, if you have hundreds of people in the location and you're just handing out tons of money, if you're handing out actual real money, there's safety and security risks. Like, imagine when I hand someone 10 grand, they walk out the other door and all these people see they have 10 grand. Like, just as a responsible person, I can't do that. We just use prop money, right? Which look completely real. There's no difference. So when I hand them money, they have authentic reactions. And these people, I didn't know, they're just random. They came from the ad. They have reactions. They cry. We hand them 10 grand. And then right when they get off camera, as they're about to leave, we had someone stop them and be like, "Hey, that's prop money. Here's an actual check for that, so you're not walking around with $10,000 in real cash."
And besides, of course, admitting to using fake money, he gives some pretty good reasons here, like how it wouldn't really make a lot of sense for him to just give somebody a ton of money and then have them walk out into a building with a ton of other people that could want to steal that money. Even though he's technically lying, it still is a real reaction with real people and real money. That brings me to the next point, proving that the people in MrBeast videos are real. So first of all, I found a great video by Expert Reload on all of the YouTubers, basically, that MrBeast has given money away to. And they all back him up, say he's a great guy, say they got the money, so they must be real. And then I personally found somebody, you might know them from the Squid Game video, 079, or Cameron is his real name. So here are some clips of him talking about winning the money.
"Congrats on the W. Did you actually get that money? Is the sky blue?" This guy says, "Hey bro, he's straight up with me. Did MrBeast actually give you all that money?" Basically, that's what he's saying. If I hear this question one more time, I will commit arson. Congratulations on winning the Squid Game. I wonder how was MrBeast in real life. He was actually pretty cool. Like, I was actually myself. I was really nervous to talk to him. But we got a little one-on-one. I took a selfie with him. And here's the selfie and the date. I can't make this story up. I'm not lying. He was a pretty great guy.
Overall, he seems pretty tired of, people asking him about the money and if he won the money, but it's basically confirmed he definitely did win the money. Alright, moving on, Glad says, "It's highly disappointing to think that MrBeast, someone who's done so much good, is now working with someone who's created one of the most obsessive, toxic communities on the internet, and done several rude, manipulative, or otherwise ill-intentioned things themselves." Alright, so this is just a common criticism of YouTubers in general, to be honest, especially MrBeast because of how popular he is. And I couldn't find the person he's specifically talking about because the tweet above it got deleted, so I'm just going to use this as a general statement for anybody that MrBeast has worked with that's controversial. So first of all, this person does mention that MrBeast is a good person, and that's mostly the reason they're so disappointed in him. So if you think MrBeast is a good person, is it fair to not like him just based off of who he's friends with or who he surrounds himself with? I mean, it is true that you tend to surround yourself with people you're like or people that are similar to you. But at the same time, on the internet, it's hard to tell if MrBeast is just collaborating with somebody or he's actually friends with them. And I'm going to relate this back to a situation that is kind of similar to this, is Kanye not liking Kid Cudi because Kid Cudi is friends with Pete Davidson. And I personally believe that two people can still be friends even if one of those people is friends with somebody the other person does not like. So to relate this back to MrBeast, I think it's still valid for you to like MrBeast, to support him, to watch him, even if he is friends or surrounds himself with somebody that you don't like. Obviously, if this person he's surrounding himself with is a serial killer, then it's a different story. But in the end, this one's really subjective, and Honestly, it just depends on who the person is. Alright, this one comes from Irina. The MrBeast Trivia Live was so unfair. We love you, MrBeast, but come on. All the rounds of the D'Amelio family was 4 versus 1, and that is so unfair. They did not deserve to win. This was another very popular criticism of MrBeast, especially when the whole situation was going on. Basically, MrBeast hosted a trivia show with a bunch of YouTubers, and the winner would get $300,000. But all the money would be going to that person's fans. Of course, the D'Amelio family won, and after the show ended, people started to notice stuff like in the bracket for the show, it just had Charlie and Dixie, but the whole D'Amelio family competed. And another complaint, which is slightly more speculative, is in the final round it was supposed to just be a 1v1, but you can kind of see a hand move in and out, suggesting that maybe Dixie got some answers from her family or somebody else working there. So eventually MrBeast had to respond to all this. He said, I see some people mad that I let multiple people compete on a single team in the trivia tournament. Honestly, the tournament was just for fun and to bring the community together. And I'd appreciate it if you were to get mad at anyone, get mad at me. It was my decision. Really, he's right. It was just for fun. The money didn't really go towards them. So it shouldn't really matter. But at the same time, I see cheating is cheating, and it kind of ruins the entire competition of the tournament. So after some more hate, he responded again, saying, the criticism is noted, and I'll definitely keep all the teams the same size next time. 100% my bad. MrBeast is a good guy, so this response was pretty much expected from him. Personally, I think the original plan was just for Charlie and Dixie to compete, but then the whole family showed up, and he was just too nice to kick them all off. And even if they did cheat, it's not really MrBeast's fault, because he obviously didn't help them cheat. It's his competition, and he would really have no reason to do so. But just because he hosts the thing, he's going to get hate. It's just how these things work. But really, I don't blame him. Regardless of what actually happened, it's not really his fault. Okay, the second to last post comes from Def Noodles. This is messed up. MrBeast accused of allegedly being invested in an alleged crypto's pump and dump scam, known as Refinable. Currency was set to launch at 33 cents, however, it allegedly launched at $4, quickly went to $9 before instantly crashing to $2. Some claim they lost their life savings. Okay, so obviously, this is a big deal. I mean, some people lost their life savings, right? So, you know MrBeast is in trouble. And I don't really understand a lot about crypto. I'm sure a lot of people don't. But here's some clips going over the situation.
And that first red flag is that there were a number of wallets. There was like 7 wallets or so that were already, that had a number of the tokens before the launch actually started. The launch was supposed to start, I believe, at like 1400 UTC. And it actually didn't start on time. There was like 10 or 15 minutes before that time where things were possibly happening. One of the things that I saw is that when it was launching, even though it was set at 3 cents, the lowest I've seen people say is that they got in at about $4. So the question that people are asking is that, wait, if it's launching at 3 cents, why is it coming in at $4 so fast? And then people were buying it in between this $4 and $9 range. And if you look here at $9, there was a complete just dump of the project. Look at this. It went all the way down to $2. So now it's sitting at roughly around $2.39.
So basically what I gathered in short is that MrBeast is a main investor. He was used to hype up the currency and then have a lot of people buy into it. And then the people behind the scenes that made the currency buy it for a cheaper price, start the price for everybody else to buy at a higher price. And then once everybody buys in, they all sell, they make way more money, everybody loses money. Still don't really get it. Could have just said all that wrong, but I think that's about right. Obviously, this is a big deal if MrBeast did play a part in this, or at least play a part in the scam portion of this. And it is still possible it's a coincidence and wasn't actually intended to be a pump and dump scam. So here's an article going over basically exactly what happened. In short, it just says, did MrBeast scam fans? There's no evidence to suggest that what was happened was intentional, and there was no evidence to suggest that MrBeast invested in Refinable to scam fans and users. So we think that it is very unlikely that any of these allegations will turn out to be true. So a little bit, not a clear answer, kind of say both sides, but in the end, it does say it's unlikely, which I'd have to agree on. I think it is more than not unlikely. Even for how common these are with big YouTubers and how it looks, I'm just inclined to believe that MrBeast would not do something like this. And like I said earlier, it could have been a coincidence. He could have not known about the scam if it was a scam. It's hard to tell. And from my knowledge, he never responded to this. There was really no further explanation on this, so I guess we'll really never know. Okay. Okay, this is the last post and also probably the biggest mistake that MrBeast has ever made. Okay, so this comes from Vic. I lost lives without taking my finger off. MrBeast needs to do a better job at keeping his challenges fair. This is crazy. I've kept my finger on the app for 3 hours and out of nowhere I lose my lives and I lost. Everyone says it's rigged and it is. We need MrBeast to fix this. Like I said earlier, this is one of the biggest mistakes he's ever made. And honestly, I can genuinely see why you would hate MrBeast based off of what he did here. A quick story of the whole situation. Basically, MrBeast made an app called the Finger on the App Challenge. And if you don't take your finger off the screen, you win a lot of money. That's basically it. And the one this guy in the tweet is talking about right here is actually the second challenge. The first one was fine. Nobody really complained about it.
Wait, did we get any new followers? Oh, hey Ziri, I appreciate the... Oh my god!
And since it was so successful, Jimmy made a second one about a year later. And on February 19th, 2021, it began. And at the start, everything seemed really fine. I mean, it was going good. And then it was all basically downhill from there. Glitches started to show up where people would get glitched off the app, even if they didn't actually take their finger off. And people would just basically be losing lives for no reason.
I was playing normally, right? At 6 hours. I had 3 hearts right here. I was doing just fine, playing legitly with my chat. Okay, now watch this. What? Like what?
What is that?
How does someone move their finger like that?
Yeah, and it's going on and on.
There is no sweat on the screen. This is...
And even though this is a pretty shitty situation, there was a way, kind of, to fix it. Before the game started, you had the option to buy extra lives. So even if some of your lives got glitched out, you could still have some extra lives left to save you. As you can probably guess though, there was a problem with these lives too. Some people that bought them say they didn't even get them, and even though they didn't receive the lives, the money was still taken out of their account. So they basically just wasted their money on nothing. Eventually, MrBeast did respond to all this, and he gave some pretty good reasons for why some people were losing, why some people were getting out, but he never actually blamed the app itself. He never said it was the fault of glitches or anything like that. Which brings us to this tweet. Jesse and Crystal saying, "What I'm saying is he knew there were glitches and the app wasn't ready. Then why release it? Why not delay it for another month or two until they figured everything out? Too many people lost a lot of money and time over this. You figure $69.99 for 3 hearts with 100,000 people, $699,000. And while that statement at the end there about MrBeast making $699,000 is just wrong, there were 100,000 people that competed, but obviously not everybody bought 3 extra lives or bought any extra lives at all. But the first point he made is very reasonable and makes perfect sense. Why didn't MrBeast just delay the challenge a couple more months till the app was ready? I mean, he must have known, they must have tested it, and as he's the head of this whole project, it should have been his responsibility to delay the app, to fix the issues, to make sure people were happy with the end result. So while he didn't directly make the app, obviously, at the end of the day, this one is his fault. And if you were one of the people that lost your money, your time, I can completely see why you would not like or even hate MrBeast for this. It seems reasonable. And of course, it's worth mentioning, they did give refunds, stuff like that, but obviously not everybody got a refund. Alright, that's about it. But personally, I still think MrBeast is a good guy, even after all this, just from what I've seen of him and from what I'm inclined to believe for the things he does for people. Again, it's easy to be wrong about these things, but that's what I believe.